Hi everyone, welcome back to the weekly market scan at Mind Money Method. It's the 29th of June, and as normal, we normally start off with the dollar index, but this week's going to be a little bit different. We'll have some spot currencies I'm going to talk about, one or two commodities, and stock market. That I want to show you some charts that I'm interested in. As said in the previous weeks, it's really been some great trends out there, some awesome opportunities that obviously us traders at My Money Method have taken and been very, very profitable. If you go and look at our videos under trader development, you'll actually see the calls we've made, and as you follow into the weeks, you'll see the calls we made into the next week. It's actually unfolded and worked out in our favor. So it's been great trading. Obviously, there are instances where you can have a drawdown. But as long as you're following the rules, which is most important, and your trading plan, then that's just keep doing that. That's what it's all about. So don't deter from that. Get good at the mechanics. Obviously, that's what we teach you at Mind Money Method. The psychology, hugely important. In any case, let's get into the market scan. So if we look at the dollar index this week, going on from last week, there was a bit of an uptrend. But all in all, it's a market that I'm looking at more of a consolidation period. If we go here onto the weekly and look at that into a little bit of a bigger detail, you can see over here, I mean, all in all, we've had some down movement. That were some definite opportunities over these past 3 weeks. Bit of an up movement, but if we look at the bigger picture, really, we're not hugely going up. If we look at this for an example on a trend, you look at beautiful small green candles, close to the moving averages. Very good, but right now we've pulled back down and we're more into a consolidation period than I would say anything else. So, you know, right now the market's not telling me a lot, and I don't have a heck of a lot of interest in this market. If I was going to be talking about this week, as said in the previous weeks, there's been some good opportunities, and that's definitely we've traded and made some good money. But this week right now, not too exciting. I mean, I always keep my eye on what's happening on the dollar index, but from a trading perspective, nothing that's floating my boat at this point in time. So we go down now actually to another spot currency, and we go to the Aussie versus the Kiwi dollar. This is a market that's looking at this right now is pretty interesting from a perspective of, sure, yes, here on the monthly, if we look over here, you know, it's been big downtrend, but we've had a strong uptrend, and it's coming to a specific level over here that we need to be aware of. And if we go and look at this level, looking at the daily, I mean, look at that fantastic uptrend. There's been some great opportunities in this market over the last week or so. In fact, the last 3 weeks, been some great opportunities to enter and exit out of the market and definitely make some profits. There's no doubt about it. But one thing you need to be careful, if I have to look at this and actually zoom out a little bit, we got to be careful because we're coming to a point over here of resistance. So I've got my eye on this, and I am looking at this market. However, I'm definitely looking at the form of resistance there. So, you know, I'm not going to be entering into the market. If I were to be entering, I'll be very careful where I would be getting out because of that level of resistance that I'm seeing over there. So interesting market, but once again, it just shows, don't just look a bit further than what you just see on your screens. So if I now go on to the the British pound to the Aussie dollar, let's go have a look at that, the British pound to the Aussie dollar. Once again, this market, I don't see anything in the way. It's fantastic. It's looking like an uptrending market. We're coming in now. We're pulling back into the moving averages. If I look across multiple time frames, we're looking quite bullish at this point in time. There's nothing in the way. Great uptrending market. So it's another market that I will be looking at and stalking as another terminology for the British pound to the Aussie dollar, to the strong side, to the bullish side, to the upside. So it's a market where there's definitely looking like there's opportunities. Is the trend maybe coming to an end? Well, at this point in time, I don't see that. There's no signs of that at all. The signs is the base currency, the British pound, to strengthen against the Aussie dollar, and that seems to be what I'm seeing. So I only trade with what I see. Sure, I pay some attention to what I hear, but not a lot at all. It's mainly what we see at Mind Money Method. That's how we trade. Obviously, we've got a lot of good information around this in further detail and further analysis that we share with all our members that come on board with us. But from a hindsight, and should I say at a high level, we rarely trade what we see, okay, because we are technical traders. We are not fundamental. Very small fundamental analysis do we bring in, but we really trade what we see. And right now I see this as a bullish market. And if I go to the British pound to the US dollar as another spot currency, it's another market where you can see I even had a fib I've drawn in, and it's pretty much so pulled back into the 61% sweet spot level. And it's come into the moving averages, and we've got a bit of consolidation taking place over here. So where to now for the market? Where are we going to be going? Well, we need to have a look at our other time frames, see what's going on there, see is there potential to the long or to the short side. Right now, as it stands, I mean, this market is potentially still looking bullish, although this candle over here is something I'm going to be keeping my eye on to see where to next and where the market's going to, but potentially it's still looking bullish to be going on to the long side. I will drill down into, as part of my trading plan, to drill down into the lower time frames, perhaps the 8 and the 4 hours, and see if there's any trading opportunities lower down for entry points into the market. But from a stalking point of view, from a perspective that I'm looking from, it's still looking bullish. So I've got that. No, there's nothing right now jumping out at me to say, yeah, get into the market. There's no entry points. And you know, all these things obviously is what we do show you in our courses as part of our products, and as well as a service offering that we can offer you. So if we go into other currencies, to be honest with you, looking at the Kiwi dollar, I could go and pick anyone. The Kiwi against the euro, the Kiwi against the British pound, the Kiwi against the Japanese yen, the Kiwi against the dollar. A lot of the markets, there's a base currency, the Kiwis, and this has been going on for quite a while now. Is if you see previous videos, is you'll see that it's been a really bearish market. So if we look at this, I mean, very bearish across multiple time frames. If we go to the Kiwi and the British pound, we're seeing the same thing. I did speak about the Kiwi dollar to the US dollar last week, and I did actually get into this trade, and probably took off about 70 pips last week. So not massive profit, but 70 pips is better than nothing. I'm out the trade. I actually got out the trade on Friday afternoon, but it was a profitable week in terms of that. But is there a potential re-entry into the market? Well, looking at the market, it's still very bearish, and potentially yes. So it's definitely on my stalking list. Moving along swiftly then, I did promise you some commodities. So if we go and look at the Brent crude, you can see now what's starting to take place is we're starting to break out of this period of really consolidation and not much going on and really ugly charts. Now starting to break into a downtrend. So we're definitely on a downtrend, and looking like the high time frames could have a rollover onto the bearish side. So in terms of Brent crude, it's now a market that I'm starting to look at from onto the bearish side. And last, let's go on to the where is it? It's the Dollar Tree, so known as actually the Nasdaq, and that's a stock market. And if we look at the stock market on the Nasdaq, we'll actually see here very messy, but we're starting to break out of that messiness on the daily especially, and we're starting to now come out of a period of consolidation, and we've just broken up potential for the bull market to have a little bit of a run. So potentially once again another market that I'm looking at, not much resistance in the way, and looking potentially quite bullish. So yes, that's another week market scan, folks. Look out, because soon we're going to be having some an awesome course that we've developed and soon to release, and it's actually going to be a free course folks, a free course for the public, and that's going to be coming out soon. We've been putting up some good input into that free course, and really we want to give to people to show that we know what we're doing, we know what we're talking about, and hopefully you will enjoy that free course when it is launched sometime later on this week. Other than that, folks, happy trading and have an awesome week. Cheers.